guys, welcome back to Brown and Lovely. Today we're continuing our 101 series focusing on foundation, concealer, and everything to create a good base.
So we have 4 different looks for you ranging from light, medium to full coverage, and this is perfect for both oily combination as well as dry skin, and you can pick and choose what works best for you. Keep watching.
So the first look is for medium to full coverage and works great for dry skin because we're using liquid foundation. So start with a moisturized face, and here I'm using NARS Sheer Glow in the shade Aruba. I used about 1.5 pumps for my entire face. I'm evenly distributing this all over first, and then I like to use a brush to blend this in, but feel free to use a beauty blender that's dipped in water and damp if that works better for you. Sheer Glow is such a good foundation because it's buildable and works well in both light and full coverage. It also sits well all day without making my face look greasy. So at this point, if you feel like you need more coverage, feel free to add a second pump and make sure that you blend it thoroughly with your brush. The next step is concealer. Here I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape in medium tan golden. This is hands down my favorite product in the world and is such a game changer. So I apply this underneath my eyes as well as a tiny bit on my forehead to brighten it up. I feel like it blends very well just using your fingertips. But of course you can also use a beauty blender if that works better for you. But here I'm just pressing the concealer into place. So in order to avoid any creasing, I set everything with loose powder. Here I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me with a powder brush. This works great for me without drying my skin out and making sure that my base stays matte and unmoved all day.
This next look is another full coverage option, but this one is good for oily to combination skin. I'm starting off with the Shape Tape Concealer for under eyes and any other spots that might need some extra coverage. I like to use a beauty blender to blend it out, but you can also use your fingers or a brush if that's what you prefer. Next, I'm using the MAC Studio Finish Foundation Powder for coverage. I just use a brush and apply it until I feel like I have the right level of coverage. This product has a surprisingly good level of coverage for being a compact, and it's a really great option for travel. I usually associate compacts with being setting powder or just for light coverage, but this one does a really good job, and it's great if you have oily skin.
So the next look is a light coverage and more of what I do on a daily basis. For this look, I completely skip foundation. On a moisturized face, I start with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer and once again apply that underneath my eyes as well as my forehead. Here I'm still using my fingertips to press the product in, and this time I also use concealer over any blemishes that I want to cover because we're not using foundation over them. I like this better because it's quicker and it's still efficient, and it looks very natural. This entire thing takes me less than 2 minutes. So once I'm done, I simply set everything in place with my loose powder. This also helps me have my base stay in place all day, and this is usually my go-to look.
This last look is a light coverage option for dry skin. This is what I tend to do on a daily basis for work. I use a tinted moisturizer, and in this case I'm using the Laura Mercier one. I just apply it all over my face and then use a beauty blender to blend. But as usual, you can use a brush as well if that's what you prefer. There's some debate to whether foundation is supposed to go on first or concealer, but when I use a tinted moisturizer, I prefer it going first and then concealer on top. Next, I'm using my Shape Tape concealer as usual for my dark circles and under eye area. I use a beauty blender to blend this out, and in the winter I can usually get away with just leaving it like that, but in the summer I try to set it with some type of loose powder so that it doesn't get oily.
So another option of foundation that I like to use is by Morphe, which is the Pro Filter. I'm in the shade number 7. There's a picture that we'll insert right here. And this is also perfect because I just use it as powder on top of my Shape Tape.
Another option for concealer is the YSL Touche Éclat pen. That one is not as heavy coverage as the Shape Tape, but it's nice for highlighting and just for light cover-up. And feel free to DM us if you have any questions regarding foundation, concealer, and picking the right one for you.
Alright, thank you guys for watching our 101 series. Our next one is going to be detailed video about how we do our blush and our contour. And feel free to follow us on Instagram. Our handle and all other details are in the description box below.